All right, we're going to open the meeting, March the 5th meeting. We'll have invocation by Commissioner Hart and the Pledge of Allegiance by myself. Let's stand, please.
Most heavenly gracious Father, we thank you for the abundant grace and mercy you've shown towards us to allow us to come together to conduct the city's business. And Father, we pray that you will help us to come together on the spirit of unity. Even though we may disagree, help us not to be disagreeable. We say a special prayer over our public workers who are so diligent going about their jobs, taking care of this city. Remember our first responders and our members in the armed forces. Keep them safe and keep them covered under your wings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
here.
Commissioner Firstner?
Here.
Commissioner Hart?
Here.
Okay, 2024 National MS Awareness Week, March the 10th through the 16th. Somebody here for that, you said?
Is there anyone here for that?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read it off, okay? Proclamation, whereas in 2024, March through 10th through the 16th, it is MS Awareness Week and a time to drive awareness of multiple sclerosis to achieve our vision of a world free of MS. And whereas in 2019, the National MS Society released the findings of a prevalence study that found that nearly 1 million people in the U.S. live with MS. That's twice as many as we originally thought, and it means you very likely know someone living with the disease or someone who is caring for someone living with MS. And whereas people with MS can better manage their disease when they have the support and understanding of the people around them, when their support networks from doctors to employers to family members have a better idea of what people with MS experience every day. And whereas the National MS Society is a movement by and for all people affected by multiple sclerosis, we embrace and are committed to bringing our entire MS community together, representatives of all the various dimensions of diversity, so that everyone feels at home and supported by their National MS Society. And whereas the society paved the way for every effective MS treatment available today, including the first therapies for primary, progressive, and pediatric MS, and we achieved more advance in MS than have been achieved for any other neurological condition. We continue to lead the way for discoveries in neurological diseases. And whereas our progress is accelerating, we've made more progress in the last 5 years than the 70 that preceded it, changing all aspects of life for people affected by MS, and where MS is a complex disease that requires many solutions. The National MS Society helps people piece it all together so they can live their best lives. And whereas to reach a world free of MS, it will take all of us, our time, our energy, our resources together is the only way forward. Now therefore be it resolved, the City Commission of the City of Ocoee does hereby declare the week of March the 10th through the 16th, 2024 as National MS Awareness Week. And you're right, I have friends, close friends from my daughter who's got MS. And it's amazing to see different changes and things, so that's true. You want to come up and I'll give you this and you get a picture. We'll have all the commissioners stand up in the back and get somebody to take a picture. I'm trying to sort your name out.
Don't try to sit down. Don't sit. Okay, me don't sit.
We'll give it to this guy here.
Wait, Russ. Mayor. Tim is coming down. Yeah, wait for the second picture. I won't be tired.
All right, Black History Month Essay Contest winners, Community Relations Manager Wright, Joy Wright.
Good evening, everyone. Joy Wright, Community Relations Manager, City of Ocoee. We're excited to be here tonight to introduce the winners of our annual Black History Month Essay Contest. We have our winners and families and teachers and principals are here tonight. So we'd like to congratulate you and thank you for coming, and let's give everyone a round of applause before we get started. This year, the essay theme was Living the Dream. We had 8 schools participate with 169 essays. So we have our first place winners here tonight and our overall winner who's going to come up and read her essay. So our winners, they get some really great prizes. We have, for our first place winners, you get a $100 gift card from Best Buy, and the overall winner gets a $200 gift card from Best Buy. And then our second and third place winners will receive $50 gift cards. And those gift cards were actually donated by one of our former volunteer board members, Dr. Sandria Foster. We'd like to thank her for that. And then best of all of the winners will receive meal coupons from Chick-fil-A. And so our overall winner actually gets, and we love Chick-fil-A, and we want to give a big shout out to Chick-fil-A. And our overall winner will receive a dinner for 4 to Chick-fil-A. So we've got some great prizes. The students worked really hard on the essays, and again, we're excited to introduce them. So we're going to start off with introducing our first place winners, and they'll come up and receive their certificate. And we'll start with Queen Stana Tika with Citrus Elementary School. I'm not sure if she's here. Okay, we'll go on to Ariana Richards with Hope Charter School. Is she here? All right. We're going to do a group picture. Our next first place winner is Candace Williams with Innovation Montessori. Our next first place winner is Rachel Patricia Orr with Lake Whitney Elementary School. Our next winner is Prince Jackson with Ocoee Elementary School. Let's give our first place winner, another round of applause. And now the moment everyone has been waiting for. I'd like to introduce our overall winner, which is Molly Campbell Shields with Thornbrook Elementary.
Hello, my name is Molly Campbell Shields, and I'll be reading my essay now. So, how can I live the dream? Everyone has dreams. Some are bad and some are good, but only some of those dreams actually come true. But these things don't just happen overnight. Martin Luther King had a huge dream, and he worked tirelessly to make it come true. That dream was to ensure that his children didn't have to live a life of being judged. And here I am living out that dream. Even though we all might not be the same, because of his speech, we see the world with rose-colored glasses. And no matter what you or I look like, we can still live freely without having to worry about our skin color. Now, as an 11-year-old girl, I might not know every itty-bitty detail about the life Martin was living, but I do understand that it is very critical to not only look at the outside of a person, but also at what's on the inside. Because what is the point of judging someone off of their appearance when we were all made to get along and become allies? If someone can't walk through the halls of my school without getting pointed at or laughed at, then no one should be able to. And thanks to Martin Luther King Jr. for guaranteeing that none of that should be happening, because now I get to live his dream. I do not only live his dream by not getting judged off of my skin color, but I am also living his dream by becoming a version of himself and ensuring that nobody should be getting treated differently. I'll be the first to admit that even though I may not have experienced discrimination, I still know that it is far away from what Martin Luther King Jr. had wanted for our world. So it's my job to make sure that it does not occur to me or the people I love and cherish. I can also live out his dream by spreading ebullience around my school and maybe even, if I wanted to go the extra mile, around the world. You don't have to be involved in discrimination to prevent it. I can dissuade discrimination by including everyone. I'm living the dream by being able to go to the school that I want to go to, playing with who I want to play with, and socializing with who I want to be around, not just the people who look like me. For this reason, I'm free. Not just free to have the same rights as everyone else, but also free to express myself for who I really am. I'm not just a girl, I am a sister, a daughter, a student, a friend, and so on. So, I have concluded that I am living Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream by being able to paint a picture of who I am with every extraordinary and unique color that truly represents me for me. His dream was for everyone to join hands and forget about all of our flaws and differences. What's better than a dream that inspires other dreams and soon enough has the whole world saying the same words? I am free.
Thank you, Molly. That was wonderful. Let's give her another round of applause. Now we're going to have all of our first place winners. If you could step forward and we'll take a picture with our mayor and commissioners.
Stand up. Move them over to the center.
Why don't you come on over here?
Y'all come
We can
over
all
to
get
the
a
center.
picture. Congratulations, you did great.
Don't forget your,
Oh, yeah, get your flag, get your flag. You earned that, you earned that.
Well, the Chick-fil-A prize and the.
You can tell the parents, look at the smiles.
come on. Come on.
There we go. Oh,
There you go.
There we go.
oh, any more pictures?
Hold on.
We got.
Got it?
Congratulations.
Great job, parents, great job.
Good job.
Great job, parents.
I believe
All right. Staff reports.
I have nothing to report, Mayor.
All right, I'm gonna take a minute at the, mic over here. Okay.
Mayor, you can do it.
Well, Mr. Hart,
Yes, sir.
I just want to take a few minutes, a little from the dais and bring down Mr. Hart. Mr. Hart, Aegis Hart, is a gentleman that picked up, and we put him in last year to fill the slot for a year under commission. And I thought it would be apropos to say a few things about him. And I got to deal, that's all good. I got to deal with his wife for a lot when I was on the diversity board, and really never got to meet you too much until after we got.
Right.
I seen his wife driving around the golf course a couple of times, so I got to talk to him. So, But anybody can get his wife to go drive for him at the golf course. It's good to know you. But I just want to tell you that in the allotment that I have had in the last year, being around Mr. Hart has been a benefit to me, and I imagine it has to these gentlemen and ladies up here. It is one fine man that has taken his time to come up here and do his duty for the city of Ocoee and for the citizens. And he is a very active man. And I don't know who we're going to get to pray. We're going to have to find a new person to pray over.
I'll still be around.
Oh, okay. So, one of the better prayers I've been around. But just, and I know the commissioners might want to say a couple words, but I just wanted to say, I truly appreciate you and your family. He has 3 wonderful daughters in college, and he has to keep working right now, so someday he'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to let you know that I, as the mayor, appreciate you very much and want you to know that anytime you want to be around and come see us, come up here. All right? We'll find a place for you to sit. Anybody else have any comments? You want to make any comments?
Yeah.
Lay it on.
All right. Well, I was going to say this during the commissioner's comments, but one thing you always think you have a lot of until you realize you don't have much of it is time. I always use the analogy, I'm going to get another bowl of cereal. I know we got some milk in there. You pour your cereal in there, you watch your Super Friends, you get ready to do it, and the milk is gone. You're out of time. And since I've turned 50 a few years ago, my wife says, never say how old you are. They'll know how old I am. I said, it's Google. They can tell anything these days. Everybody knows everything. But after I turned 50, I realized I have more time behind me than I do in front of me. So the time I have is precious, more precious than ever before. And the time I spent over the last 11 months sitting at this board was good time. It was time well spent. I met some wonderful people. I have a greater appreciation for city government. I have a greater appreciation for our democracy. And I have a greater appreciation for you. There were certain things that were happening on the commission that I didn't like. One thing I will not do, I will not sit up in public and criticize anybody. I don't do that. I don't argue with people. I let people speak their mind, I speak my mind, but I'm at peace with everyone. I don't hate anybody, I love everyone, and I refuse to get into public arguments because I think it demoralizes, it devalues our democracy. That's just my opinion. But I saw some things I didn't like, and I wanted to try to make things better. I came to serve. I didn't use my time here to promote myself or to advance myself, to try to make a name for myself. When I got in the office and I saw that beautiful view looking out the window, I reminded myself, the interim commissioner, until the next one is elected. I wanted to put up a picture of Lift Every Voice and Sing, and my inspiration, my picture of my wife and my kids. And you could tell it's an old picture because my hairline is still there. My daughter said, Daddy, you got a receding hairline. I said, no, it's a full retreat. But that's okay. But I didn't do that because I'm interim, and the seat belongs to the people. So I left the office the same way I found it until the next person is appointed. But these people deserve your respect. It is not an easy job to sit up there and make decisions that affects people's lives. It's not an easy job to be criticized and ridiculed. I'm going to say one thing about the mayor. The best way I can describe it, anybody here got daughters? Any guys got daughters? My daughters call Mayor Johnson Uncle Rusty. That says all you need to know. The man has been kind to me and my wife. His wife has been kind to me and my wife since I met him. I hear a lot of negative things about him, by people who don't even know him. And that's not fair. But you know what? When you serve the public, they'll say, Hosanna on Sunday, crucify him on Friday. Now, Jesus made it to Friday. We'll be lucky to make it to Monday morning. But that's the life of a public servant. But what I want to say is, give somebody a chance before you go by what somebody else told you about him. He's a good man. And I don't know anybody that's working harder to see the city of Ocoee succeed than him. So give him his credit. I hope one day we can sit back and look at how the city's changed in the last 37 years since he's been involved. And as I close, people say, what's your greatest accomplishment? I don't have a greatest accomplishment because this is a team. Amen. No one individual could do. Only thing you could do by yourself in the city commission is make a mess. You can make a mess by yourself. But to get anything done, you have to work together. You have to. You can't even bring a motion up by yourself. You have to work together. I'm a pastor, most of you know me. And there's a chapter in the book of Isaiah where Satan says I 5 times. I watch people that say I a lot because I takes away from team, and team kills the dream. Beautiful. Beautiful speech. Beautiful, beautiful. So proud. I got $3 and every time I see young people doing so well. And Prince, way to hold it down back there, bro. I like that. Way to represent. And parents, you should be so proud of what's going on here in Ocoee. I'm proud to serve this time. And I can tell people my name is Bishop Bubblegum. I tend to stick around. And I plan to run in 2025 if God gives me strength and I can get enough people to vote for me. But in the meantime, if you need me, call me. I'll be around. I'll probably be at Forest Lake on the fourth hole, right beside the sand trap, getting ready for my second shot. The only problem is I'm playing hole number 3 and I've sliced it over to the wrong fairway. Thank you very much. Have a good
I know at the end of the meeting tonight, you want to talk to Ken. What a great person that is that's been sitting up here and helping the city citizens is the main thing. That's what it's all about. All right. I'm lost here. Nope. All right. Public comments. Come on down, Mr. Moyer. You number 1 on the list.
Thank you, sir.
I got a few here for public comments.
My name is Dr. Jim Moyer. I live in Arden Park. First of all, congratulations to all the Black History essay winners. You all did a fantastic job. Secondly, congratulations to the city opening up North Lakeview Avenue. Thank God. That should be in your prayer. And Mayor, in a sense, you stole my thunder because part of my speech was to thank my district commissioner, Commissioner Agnes Hart. Thank you so much for your service over the last year. Thank you for being my commissioner. Thank you for pointing me to the HRDB and for being the liaison to the HRDB. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for last meeting bringing up about the website.
Yes, sir.
That's something for a long time. It just slipped my old mind. But the website really does need looking at.
Yes, sir.
And City Clerk Sibbett, thank you. Because Alonzo, one of your youth council members, the American Legion Post 109, is sending to Tallahassee. And I got to spend time with him, and I'm sure you've helped to mold him into the excellent young man he is. And he'll be speaking to the commission this summer to tell about his experience at Boy State. Also, this is Women's History Month. And on Friday, it's International Women's Day. Women's History Month actually stems from International Women's Day, which is about 125 years old originally. But Women's History Month began officially in 1987. But International Women's Day, which is this Friday, and the theme this year, if I can remember it properly, is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. So I think that's a great theme. So please join me in celebrating Women's History Month. And also, this is Irish Heritage Month. Please also, about 1.8 million people in Florida are of our Irish descent. So please also celebrate that this month. Thank you for your time, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Noreen Dorkin.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Frank, Melanie, lovely to see you all. I am Noreen Dworkin. I am the editor of Vox Populi, I wanted to bring everyone's attention, I mentioned it the last time we were here, our election guide is out. Voting is underway for the March 19th election. Our election guide has all the information that you will need to vote in this election. We have information about the 13 charter amendments that are for everybody in the city to vote on. We announced our endorsements for the special election for District 4 yesterday. So everybody can come and take a look. It's at wintergardenvox.com. I also just wanted to mention very quickly that tomorrow evening from 5 to 9, there will be an Ocoee market at the Lakeshore Center. I will be there. If you want to come and ask me any kind of questions, or, just talk about local news, I am there, I am available.
It's Thursday night.
Oh, sorry, I forgot what day it is. Sorry, yes, you are right. I lose track of time. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, it is Thursday, 5 to 9. I will be there. I run your local news site, so I am here to answer questions, to take ideas. I am available. So you can find me at wintergardenvox.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody.
Brad Lomney.
Brad Lomneck, Veronica Place. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Unfortunately, I come bearing sad news with the passing of fellow Ocoeean and District 2 resident Tom Lowry. Tom was a great friend. As many of you know, Tom and his wife would come to the commission meetings very frequently. Just want to give you some facts about Tom. Tom spent 55 plus years with the American Legion as a sergeant in the Army, serving from 1964 to 1971. He has volunteered many times in the city of Ocoee, whether if it's been for our canvassing boards, the District Realignment Board, and the most important, the Charter Review Board. Through his time at the Legion, he's helped with programs in West Orange and Ocoee like Challenge 22. He's been up here many, many times talking about veteran suicide prevention. So in my mind, he's a hero. So I come before you for an ask. I would ask that you consider placing a nameplate for Tom at the on one of the benches in front of the Withers McGuire House, where the Armed Forces memorials are now. It would be great if we could make that area the Tom Lowry Armed Forces Memorial Garden. Doesn't cost us a lot to do it, and I think it's great to give back to the citizens that have made this city is what it is. And he's not originally from here, but he's called it his home for many, many, many years. His wife is a member of our women's club, and she'll be helping tomorrow night, matter of fact, with the debate. So, I would ask that you consider that. Thank you.
Anybody want to make any comments?
I think staff may look at
Yeah.
what's available out there, because I don't know what's available.
We'll have the staff look into it.
Yeah,
Rob.
there's 2 benches out there now. I was thinking that instead of naming a whole park or whatever, to get a little nameplate just to put on
Yeah.
one of the benches right there. There's 2 of them that are directly in front of both of the Armed Forces memorials
Right.
that are right out there in front. So
Okay. I think that's a good thought. All right?
Thank
We'll
you.
get that worked out. Thanks, Brad. Zanetta Arthro? Zanetta?
Hello. Hi. My name is Zanetta Arthuro. I'm currently a student at Ocoee High School in the 11th grade. I'm a part of a program at my school called ACE. The ACE program is an international program through the University of Cambridge. For high school students in Florida, an ACE diploma allows them to receive the Bright Future Scholarship if they pass 7 exams. If this is achieved, students will be awarded full tuition to any public four-year university in the state of Florida. Included in the ACE program is a class called ACE Global Perspectives in Research. It is a skill-based course that prepares students for our rapidly changing world through the 7 lenses of politics, economics, culture, science, environment, technology, and ethics. This class is important to ACE as a student cannot achieve their diploma without passing this class. To supplement this class, we are planning the first ACE Global Field Trip to SeaWorld on April 4th. We are requesting 3 charter buses to be sponsored by the city of Ocoee. We plan to try and make this field trip as affordable as possible so all students enrolled in the course may join us on this experience. The price would originally be $100 per student, but with the help of the city, we will be able to decrease the cost to about $70 per student. We are asking for a donation of $2,400 at most. The reason why we are asking for this amount is because we are planning to order 3 charter buses. As of now, we have 40 spots confirmed of students that want to go on the field trip, and many students are still turning in their field trips as well, their field trip forms. The bus quote for 3 buses with tags is about $2,100. However, we are also buying meal plans for students and chaperones. With just the cost of chaperones, it's around $574. So together with the bus quote and the chaperone meals, it's going to be $2,674. Or sorry, $2,674. The donation of $2,400 would help us reduce the amount needed to pay for that from $2,674 to $274. That's it.
That's it? All right, anybody got any comments?
Oh, I normally do. I'm normally the one that speaks regarding this. I know that we've been giving a discretionary fund, and I think that's something each individual commissioner would have to make those decisions with you. I think that we as a city, we've done this once, and that was regarding advocacy days in the city going to Tallahassee, which met our advocacy. We all work for advocacy here when it comes to legislature. I think that's something you might want to approach each individual commissioner about, because I know we took away the fund to merit board that we had, that where these folks would go through before. So now it's something I think you just need to approach every commissioner individually to see if they would want to apply their discretionary funds or have the funds to assist you.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Anybody else? Yeah, we need to do it that way, but I'll contact you for myself. So
Okay.
any of the other commissioners, they can call, you need to, the city clerk will have your, huh?
You got an email, I think.
Yeah, we've got an email too, so, all right?
Yeah.
So we'll see who can
Yeah.
help
Just
out with this,
send me-
all righty?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, send me an
you.
email.
Huh?
Send me an email.
Yes, send the email, yeah.
I'm gonna send you one.
All right, let's see, consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
You're not saying nothing?
I would-
Seconded by,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
seconded by Commissioner Hart.
I would like to pull item 2 for individual consideration of and discussion of the appointments of members.
Oh,
There's
okay.
3 members. I'd like to discuss them individually.
Okay.
You want to pull 2?
Yes, sir.
And
All right.
just to remind everyone that we need a motion and a second to remove items from the consent agenda.
So can I,
Not three.
So we'll call that a motion.
can
No,
I,
you said 2, didn't you?
Item 2, yes, sir.
so can I amend my motion to say we'll approve the items 1 through 7 with the
Yeah.
exception of 2?
We need to second his first, though.
Oh,
We do need a second.
So I'll second his removal.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew. All right.
Can I get this on the board behind me so I can write down what we're doing? Okay.
All
so we're
right,
going to-
motion was made first and second, and then we got before we vote on that, we got another motion, to pull 2. And we'll go ahead and vote on item 1 through 7, less 2. All right?
Yes, sir. That works.
All right, let's vote.
I jumped too fast.
That carries unanimously. All right, now, item 2, Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes, sir. As you know, I'm the liaison to this board, and one of the reasons this item is here is because I requested something be done to solve the inability to get quorum and to have meetings. One of the members has been vacated for lack of attendance. Some of the members have not attended the Citizens Public Safety Academy. Some members have a waiver because they're prior sworn officers, which is an accepted waiver. So my opinion, my motion is to reappoint member Gregory Meeks and to appoint Brad Lomnick to replace Corey Garone. But I would like to leave Patrick Holt's seats open and find another member possibly.
It'd be nice to have a member from District 3, because there is no one from District 3 on there.
I don't know the districts,
It was on,
but I know that there are two members from my district. The chair, Mr. Lewis, and Gregory are both in my district.
and with Brad, I would have 2 from District 2.
Where's the other one at?
I'm trying to find, I should have brought my iPad with me.
Corey Garone was vacated or deemed to have resigned. And then Greg Meeks and Patrick Holt are up for term expiration renewal.
So you making a motion to appoint those two?
To reappoint Gregory Meeks and to appoint Brad Lomnick to replace Corey Garone, and not to reappoint Patrick Holt, and to have the commission recommend another member.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Second. Comments?
That's why I was saying that I think District 3 is the only one on, if I looked at those correctly, that 3 did not have anyone. And hope, I always love to see a variation from our different
Yeah, it's on the board list.
districts.
If you go to the board list.
How do
says
you
it's
do
on
this?
So if you go to the board list that's in the packet, I can read them off. We have.
Sure.
Member Lewis is from District 1. Member Broadscale is from District 4. Member Annette Brown is from District 2. Meeks is 1. Halt was District 1. Moyer's District 4. Mellon is District 4. And Garay is District 4.
Yeah, so we were already lopsided a little bit.
Well, four's got 3 people?
4.
4, and I had 3. I'm trying to go down to 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would leave 1 opening, correct?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So,
All right. We have a motion on the floor, so you need it reread, or do you all know what it was? Everybody okay with that, to vote? All right, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. So we'll need another name for,
Probably from District 3,
yeah.
from the Commissioner.
If you can find somebody there.
I'll ask around, I'll try.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
what's the,
Number 8, first reading of ordinances. This will be the first reading of ordinances tonight. It'll come back in 2 weeks, or no, it'll be 4 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks. So you want to read the,
are we?
Yes, sir.
moving on 19th?
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending the City of Ocoee Comprehensive Plan as adopted in 1991, as amended, amending the future land use map of the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan to change the future land use map designation from low-density residential to medium-density residential for certain real property containing approximately .94 acres located at 474 South Bluford Avenue on the east side of South Bluford Avenue, beginning approximately 235 feet north of East Orlando Avenue, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city future land use map, repealing conflicting ordinance. We want to not have repealing conflicting ordinances. We could make it say superseding any conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
okay, this will come back before us on April the 2nd. We're not having it on the 19th because of the election.
I didn't take it off my calendar.
Okay. And that was that for the comprehensive plan. The next is for the rezoning. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from R1AA, single-family dwelling district, to PUD, Plan Unit Development District, on certain real properties containing approximately .94 acres located at 474 South Bluford Avenue on the east side of South Bluford Avenue, beginning approximately 235 feet north of East Orlando Avenue, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, superseding any inconsistent ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, same thing, be back April the 2nd. All right, item number 9, first reading of ordinance for Gardenia Point rezoning from unclassified district and R1A single-family dwelling to PUD Planned Unit Development District.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from unclassified and R1A single-family dwelling district to PUD Planned Unit Development District on certain real property containing approximately 37.37 acres located on the north side of the FCEN railroad tracks at the terminus of the unimproved Ocoee Vista Parkway right-of-way and assign parcel identification numbers 10-22-28-0000-00-003, as well as 10-22-28-0000-00-011, as well as 10-22-28-0000-00-128, and 3-22-28-2834-01-201, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, the same thing, it'll be back April the 2nd, for the second reading. All right, item number 10, first reading of ordinance implementing live local act.
All right, an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending Section 5-15 of the Ocoee Land Development Code, specific use development standards to implement the provisions of the Live Local Act, Section 166.04151 et sec, Florida statutes, including defining terms, establishing a maximum permitted density and height, establishing a process for administrative approval, providing for deed restrictions and annual certification, requiring equal treatment of affordable housing and market rate units, providing for enforcement, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
One thing, April 2nd, can I ask, is Andrea Jones here?
Yeah.
Where?
Am I allowed to?
No, this is the night,
Next, April 2nd.
April 2nd, okay? April 2nd. I'm sorry I missed the thing, but you just, second reading, April 2nd. Okay. All right. All right, we're gonna move to the second readings of ordinance. This is gonna take a little while here. We're gonna start with item number 11. Second reading of ordinance on city commission initiated charter amendments through section C9, C10, and C17. City Attorney Keller.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, proposing amendments to the City of Ocoee's charter pertaining to 1, Section C9, to confirm or establish that the City Commission has authority to interpret and enforce the provisions of the charter and providing for judicial review. And 2, Section C10, to confirm or establish that the City Commission has authority to interpret and adjudge the qualifications and eligibility of candidates for the Commission, establish procedural rules to provide notice and due process to any affected parties, and provide for judicial review. And 3, Section C17, to confirm that a Commission member who resigns from their office cannot thereafter seek election to any part of the same term of office from which the member resigned, and providing a form of ballot for the proposed amendments at the next general city election after the effective date of this ordinance on November 5th, 2024, or as otherwise set by the City Commission, directing the city clerk to file the revised charter as approved by the voters with the Florida Department of State, and providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, commissioners, I'm going to open this, I'm going to open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item number 11? On the charter amendments? Nobody? All right, we'll close it, come back up to dais. Anybody up here have any comments on items 11 with the C9, C10, and C17?
I'll say something. I believe that we, at last meeting, made the decision that we would open this up for the public for this night, and if there were no concerns, then we could go ahead and not bring back the Charter Review Committee. So, I'm in favor of this, but it's just, I think that we made that decision, not that really decision, but we talked about it.
That's why I opened it to public,
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, that's, I was gonna say that, I think we discussed it, so if someone had a concern regarding these items, for them to come forward tonight.
I would also hope that we could put it on the TV, Rob, on our city TV, and people, if anybody wants it, they can pull it up off the TV. Okay. On the channel, local, in our computer. So, on the website.
But
All
this
right.
will be voted on at the November election, correct? It would go on. It would
November
go on the
5th.
ballot.
November election, yeah. Anybody else up here have any comments on that? All right, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to proceed with placing the charter amendments on the ballot.
All right, C9, C10, C17. There a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? No more comments, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. If anybody, you know anybody, that anybody has questions, please call the city and ask about it, or go on our live channel and see if you can find it, and if not, call one of us and we can help you get to it. Item number 12, second reading of ordinance for fiscal year 2024 budget amendment, Finance Director Roberts. Come on down.
Would you like me to read it first? Or just let her?
You let her say first, then you can read. Go ahead. You got, is that just got one? Or you got two?
Just one on this one.
I think,
Turn that.
yeah,
Yeah,
There we
just
go.
got one.
Okay, good evening, Rebecca Roberts, Director of Finance. The Finance Department, as we do every year at about this time, went through an analysis of our financials and our budget to ensure that we have adequate budget and not too much budget, which never happens, to complete our obligations for the rest of the year. One of the items that came to our attention is our health insurance fund. As the commission knows, the city of Ocoee is self-insured, meaning that we pay our own claims, that we don't have an insurance company that pays the claims for us. At the end of every calendar year, we are required to file a report with the state's insurance department. That, when we did that report this year, we noticed that claims have escalated quite a bit over the last couple of years. And our analysis showed that if claims continue at this pace, that we would not have sufficient budget in the FY24 budget to cover the claims anticipated for the rest of the year. So we are coming to commission to ask to increase the health insurance fund by $1.67 million, 1.4 of that from the general fund, 197 from water wastewater, 35,500 from our stormwater, 5,000 from solid waste, and 7,900 from the CRA. This is their proportionate share based on the number of employees in those funds that are enrolled in the health insurance fund. In addition, later this evening, we will be bringing to you the approval for, yes, sir.
I'm gonna move it up next after you get through.
Okay, great. So next, we are bringing to you, asking for approval of a $10 million note that will help to fund the regional training facility that has been brought to the commission and approved by the commission. When we analyzed the best way to finance that facility, and we looked at all of our options, we determined that the best thing for the city to do was to take out the note, which we are paying approximately 4.4% on the note, interest on the note. We are currently earning on our investments 5.67%. So anybody that has a savings account knows it's probably better to borrow the money at a lesser rate than you're earning. So we're asking for permission to do that. By doing so, there are some adjustments that we'll make, and we're asking for permission to move some money back out of our capital fund, put this money into our capital fund. It's just a bunch of accounting stuff that the commission has to approve. So that's what we're bringing to you tonight for consideration.
All right.
If I could jump in here, it seems to me that we ought to, if this commission wants to approve of the note, they ought to do that first before we approve of the budget change. Would you concur with that?
I would concur.
Okay. So we should then, oh, go ahead.
Hold
We'll
on
go ahead
12 and move
vote.
to
We'll do
19.
19, and then we'll come back to that vote.
Exactly.
All right. All right, you're still up there then. We're gonna do the item 19.
All right. So as previously discussed, the city commission approved the construction of a regional police training facility, which will have several shooting lanes. It will have some training rooms, et cetera. It's a training facility. We anticipate it will be used not only by the city of Ocoee, but by other law enforcement agencies nearby. The facility, we anticipate, is going to cost $12.8 million. The city's received $2 million in grant funding from the state to contribute toward that. We are asking that you approve this $10 million note, which will give us nearly $10 million. There's some costs associated with that, and the rest will come from our reserves and from that interest we talked about we're going to earn on the note. So we are asking for the commission to approve the $10 million note this evening, and if there are any questions, we do have our bond counsel here to answer any questions.
All right, before I open the public hearing, I'm gonna let him read the,
All right, let's start with item 19. So a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Ocoee, Florida, authorizing the issuance of capital improvement revenue note, Series 2024, defined as the Series 2024 note, in the principal amount not to exceed $10 million to finance the cost of the construction and equipping of a new regional police/public safety training facility, as further described herein, and to pay the cost of issuing the Series 2024 note, providing that the Series 2024 note shall be a limited obligation of the city, payable from non-ad valorem revenues budgeted, appropriated, and deposited as provided herein, providing for the rights, securities, and remedies for the owner of the Series 2024 note, and for the negotiated sale of such Series 2024 note with Regions Capital Advantage, Inc., making certain covenants and agreements in connection therewith, and providing for an effective date.
that it? All right, I'm gonna open the public hearing. Anybody in the public hearing comments?
I just want to make sure I understood. Sorry, I didn't file for this one to speak one. It's to build another safety complex. Aren't there already 3 shooting ranges within
No.
like 12 minutes?
Can you give your name? Could you put your name for the?
Sorry, Kelly Beck.
We do have a old place that's been developed around it with townhomes and condos and houses, and it's in a dirt bank, which is, state's kind of putting a.
Yeah. Okay, that's, I
We
just
also
thought there were
got a
already
$2
places
we
in
also
the
got a
area.
$2 million loan out of the state, not a loan, but a $2 million grant that goes towards that.
Okay, so that's what, 20% of the cost? I mean, it's just a lot of money for what seems like a very limited impact.
Well,
Well, it's not going to have a limited impact because it can be used by other law enforcement municipalities.
we got certain number of cities that are gonna be there paying.
Got it, to help mitigate
Yeah,
that cost long
yeah.
term. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
didn't understand. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, no more comments in the public? All right, close it, come back up here. All right,
I'll make the motion to approve.
motion made by Commissioner Wilson to approve number 19. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Forstner. No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. That's it? Thank you. Now we'll go back to 12.
Back to 12.
Now, we're gonna read these, and I'll open the public hearing for that.
All right, item number 12, an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Orange County, Florida, relating to the city budget, amending the city budget adopted by ordinance 2023-17 for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024, by providing for an increase of appropriations, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
All right, now we're gonna open the public hearing. Anybody have any comments on item 12? Ordinance second budget amendment. No comments. I'll close the public hearing, bring it back up. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 budget amendment.
Motion made by Commissioner Fershman. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, let's get down to number 13. Public hearing, second reading of ordinance updating the city's code of ordinances, chapter 45, Arbor Code.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee amending Section 45-4 of Article 1 and Section 45-13 of Article 2 of Chapter 45 of the City of Ocoee Code of Ordinances to clarify the definition of a protected tree, to require just cause for removal of a protected tree, and to provide for a standard of review, risk assessment criteria, and additional considerations for issuance of a tree removal permit, establishing standards for documentation when protected trees are removed without a permit, and providing for conflict severability and an effective date.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing. I have two people signed up. Mr. Vinny Singh. That means you're singing tonight?
Sure.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. City Commissioners, Mayor Johnson. My name is Vinny Singh, and I will not be speaking for 5 minutes. Wow. Okay, maybe I should sing. This picture here, you see beautiful skies, mutilated trees. Yes, mutilated trees. Doesn't look good. As a growing city, I've been a resident of Ocoee for 15 years now. And I've gone to Winter Garden, Winter Park, other cities that are beautiful aesthetically and just nice in appearance. Ocoee is new to many things. It's growing. We're working together, or we should be working together for things like this. I'm the president of my HOA, and I know if the residents and homeowners in my neighborhood cut their trees like that, there will be issued violations. Whoever did this didn't take pride in their job. I work in a corporation. I can't go to work in t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops. That's that type of look. We must come together and try to work together to make our city beautiful. Whoever did this has little pieces and limbs dangling. I mean, it may be said, okay, the crew came by and we're understaffed and we just tried to get things done quickly so it doesn't touch the electrical lines. However, this was done with no pride. At the end of the day, we want to grow together and look beautiful. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hang on a minute, Vinny.
Sure.
What I want to tell you is that we have no control over that. We have control over where those trees go to start with when they build that place. But that is the power company that does that.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Yeah.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, Vinny requested that these trees be trimmed because they were blocking the sidewalk.
Well,
Mr.
who said
Singh did. Public Works.
Our Public Works did that? Why would,
Yes, sir.
they're not supposed to be doing that. The power company's one that usually does that.
Not this time.
So this
Well,
is
then,
relevant.
Sorry
to
about that, but nobody said that.
This is relevant to the arbor ordinance overall of, yeah, as you said, the city mandated those
Yeah.
trees. There's no room. And then the city is trimming them. It would almost be better if they didn't touch them, I think, at this point. So we want to talk about that.
But why would our guys trim those trees up on the power things when they're not supposed to touch them? It's the power company's supposed to do that. They don't want you getting near those power lines.
It was also blocking the sidewalk.
They can trim it off the sidewalk.
Well, that's
But
what
I'm
they
telling
were
you,
asked
the
to
problem
do.
is, that's not just a sidewalk.
I
Are we sure
understood.
Public Works, I'm not.
Sounds like
doubting-
that's something that should be handled internally then.
Huh?
Sounds like it's something that should be handled internally.
I'm
Well, it
pretty
is
sure that,
gonna be handled internally.
Mayor, I'm pretty sure that Public Works did trim them to make sure the branches were off the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But, looking up 30 feet towards the power lines, we don't do that. So from what I'm seeing here, I would make the guess that city did some, and, you know, what you're seeing there at 30 to 35 feet is something that we don't do at all.
Well,
That would be the
what
power
we need to
company.
do is find out, Rob, see, because that needs not to be done again, but I'm telling you, I've never seen our
Yeah.
staff do any.
Yeah, we're not
I-
qualified.
I
Our guys
don't
aren't
trim their
qualified to
power-
do that.
They tell you do not trim their power lines, and I don't see our guys doing that because we don't have that kind of equipment. Now, if we did that, we'll address it through the city manager.
I'd say everything up to maybe 10 to 15 feet tops would
Yeah,
be the
but
city. Anything
Trimming
after that would
trimming
be the power
branches off
company.
is not that.
And it's typical, like, we get complaints like every 2 years when they come through the city and they go through and they cut big
So-
V notches out of everything. And,
I'm just here representing
I know.
the neighborhood,
I know.
the area, and I'm
We're
a
trying to
concerned, I'm a
help you,
concerned
so, yeah.
resident, so,
I know.
that's all.
Well,
So,
next
pardon
time-
me if I'm a little too harsh, but, you know.
No,
hey.
you're not harsh. You want, I've heard harsh
bad.
before. You're kind.
I mean, that tree doesn't.
I had dinner before I got here, so, you
Thank
know,
you.
that's
Thank
good.
you. All right,
Look good.
they'll get an answer and get it back to you, why that was and what. That don't need to happen anymore though, Rob. All right, anybody else with comments? Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else comments on that item 13?
Ms. Beck.
Yep, come on up, Kim. Let's see, Kelly Beck.
Yes, sir. So Kelly Beck, I'm President Greens at Forest Lake Homeowners Association. So it was raised to me in regards to the Arbor Code changes that this was being done to resolve some issues with mass removal of trees. And so the proposal that was brought before the board was to update the ordinance to require a city commission vote in order to have a single tree removed from a property. Personally speaking, as an HOA with, I can't even imagine, we have to have 200 or 300 trees on our property, especially on the side that traces the 429. When it comes to hurricane damage, when it comes to mitigating the impact of the trees on fences, sidewalks, roads, even though our roads and sidewalk are city managed, the ability to manage those trees in a way that is sustainable and scalable within the city ordinance is absolutely critical. Having a permitting process that goes through Public Works, is reviewed, and makes sure that it is done in a reasonable and safe way, I absolutely agree with. But going to the extent of a city commission vote so that I can remove a tree from our community property after a hurricane that's been damaged seems really excessive, and a process that the city of Ocoee does not have the bandwidth to sustain long-term. So I would urge the commission to send this back to the table and come up with a process that is going to benefit the city and make best use of our resources.
I didn't see that we would be the final decision. I know this is to
We-
provide a process for
it
the
goes through
city
the-
commission to review.
Yeah.
Commissioner, on page 9 of the proposed ordinance, at the top, it says, "Commission review. At a publicly noticed hearing, the city commission shall consider for approval any application for tree removal or replacement of more than one tree within a private road right-of-way."
More than one tree.
Yeah, landscape buffer.
Two, but how many hurricanes
or-
do we get that? I mean, we
I know.
probably
May- may I
replaced 5 or
continue?
6.
Well, everything runs under a different deal anyway with hurricanes.
Right, but
That's
I
a
mean, these things
that's-
happen, and to have to
know.
do a city commission process every
Yeah.
time when we have hundreds of trees and young trees
Yeah.
that a regular storm has knocked over some of them is definitely,
Yeah.
it creates issues in the process, it issues with the timeline, and is, I would argue, an unreasonable use of city resources when we have so many other things to worry about.
Well, Mike, are we gonna pull this and redo it, rechange that around? I always thought that in the tree deal, I know I've had to do it, and I had to go through the permit department to get a tree permit, not through the commission, but through the permit, through the
Which
planning and
absolutely in
zoning.
favor of.
Yeah,
Make sure people are doing it right, but.
Yes, Mayor, coupled with the public comments you've received today, part of those is a desire of one of the city commissioners under pruning. I did not go the direction, I didn't understand the direction they were looking at. We didn't even provide any input in that direction for public pruning. So with that, in the public comment you've had, I recommend, we've opened it, but we continue it to
All right.
to a date certain, but we need some time because I can tell you've already got a new scenario in front of me from another subdivision where they planted all the trees on a property line, and whose permit is it? There's just so many scenarios to go through,
All right.
so.
all right.
I'll make a motion to table this item. I want to make sure as part of that, that the moratorium on blanket tree removal remains in place until such time that we have a reasonable ordinance.
All right.
Yeah, I'll second that. I'd rather get it right than get it fast.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy, seconded by Commissioner Hart to table this till it's further redone and rechecked. All right? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. We'll get an answer on the event about that, okay? Thank you. All right, number 14, second reading of ordinance amending the City of Ocoee Police Officers and Firefighters Retirement Trust Fund, Section 27, Deferred Retirement Option Plan.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, relating to the City of Ocoee Municipal Police Officers and Firefighters Retirement Trust Fund, amending ordinance number 2010-019, as subsequently amended, amending Section 27, Deferred Retirement Option Plan, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances and superseding all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
All right. Open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item 14? All right, we'll close the public hearing, bring it up to the dais. Anybody got a motion or anybody got comments?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Firstner, item 14. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
And does that include the superseding instead of the repealing language?
Yes.
Thank you.
And seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? Not, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Item 15, second reading of ordinances for 440 Ocoee Apopka Road, Paranello property, annexation and rezoning from County A2 Farmland Rural District to City 3, C3 General Commercial District.
All right, the first is the annexation ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Ocoee, Florida, certain real property containing approximately 0.51 acres located at 440 Ocoee Apopka Road on the east side of Ocoee Apopka Road, beginning approximately 1,800 feet north of the Palm Drive at Ocoee Apopka Road intersection, and assigned parcel ID number 18-22-28-0000-00-002, pursuant to the application submitted by the property owner, finding said annexation to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, the Ocoee City Code, and the Joint Planning Area Agreement, providing for and authorizing the update of the official city maps, providing direction to the city clerk, providing for severability, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, and providing for an effective date. Should I go ahead and read the rezoning now? An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from Orange County A2 Farmland Rural District to City of Ocoee C3 General Commercial District on certain real property containing approximately 0.51 acres located at 440 Ocoee Apopka Road, beginning 1,800 feet north of the Palm Drive at Ocoee Apopka Road intersection, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, zoning manager Whitfield.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. So this is the annexation and rezoning for the property at 440 Ocoee Apopka Road, annexing from the county to the city and changing the designation from A2 Rural Farmland District to C3 General Commercial District. The property is located on the west side of Ocoee Apopka Road. It's about 1,800 feet north of the Palm Drive intersection. It's about a half acre in size. The future land use designation is currently commercial. It is in the Wakaiwa study area, but there are no protected features. It's currently occupied by a house. The property owner has no proposed plans, and the site is eligible for annexation by being eligible for services and adjacency and contiguous to the city limits. This is an aerial of the property, the surrounding future land use designations, and the surrounding zoning districts. The DRC met on this item on January 2nd, and PCC heard this item at its February 13th public hearing. Both the DRC and PCC found no issues and made a recommendation of approval. Staff is also recommending approval of the proposed annexation and rezoning from A2 to C3 for the property located at 440 Ocoee Popka Road. And I don't see the applicant here, but I know at the last hearing they had a schedule conflict.
All right, I'm gonna open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments? Is that person here?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any comments? Item 15. If not, I'll close the public hearing and bring it to the dais. Need a motion or comments?
I make a motion to approve the annexation.
Motion made.
I'll second.
Commissioner, first or seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? If not, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Item 16.
Before that, we need the rezoning now.
I thought you did that.
Oh, but that was a motion to approve
Okay,
the
all right.
annexation. We just
All
separate
right,
vote.
we gotta do the
vote.
rezoning.
Thank you.
One more.
I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning.
Do I hear a second?
Yes.
Seconded by, motion made by Commissioner First or seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously for the zoning. All right, item 16.
All right.
Second reading of ordinance for Manzur property rezoning from R1 Single Family District to C2 Community Project. That's where I got confused. Let her talk first, then I'll have you read.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Mansour property rezoning from R1 Single Family District to C2 Community Commercial District. The property is located on the south side of Silver Star Road, about 180 feet east of Ocoee Popka Road intersection, 0.28 acres in size. The future land use designation is commercial. The property is currently vacant and the owner has no proposed plans. This is an area of the property is generally surrounded by commercial on the north, south, and west, surrounding future land use, all commercial, and it's surrounding zoning, so it's a residential zoning. DRC met on this item on January 2nd. PCC heard it on the 13th. They both found no issues and made a recommendation of approval. The reason for the request is that when there is an internal inconsistency between the future land use map and the zoning map, the property is essentially stalled in terms of its development potential because they can't build residential because of commercial land use designation, and they can't build commercial because of the residential zoning district. Tonight, staff is also recommending approval of the proposed rezoning from R1 to C2 for the Mansour property in order to bring the zoning into consistency with the comp plan.
All right, now.
All right. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from R1 Single Family District to C2 Community Commercial District on certain real property containing approximately 0.28 acres located on the south side of West Silver Star Road, beginning approximately 181 feet east of the Ocoee Apopka Road at West Silver Star Road intersection, and assigned parcel identification number 18-22-28-3166-02-140, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on item 16. Anybody in the audience have any comments? No comments, we'll close the public hearing and bring it up. You got any more to read? That's it, right?
That's it on 16.
All right, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning.
I'll second.
Motion made for the rezoning by Commissioner Forster, seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Item 17, second reading of ordinance for West Delaware Street, West Property Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment from Public Facilities Institutional to Low Density Residential. Zoning. There you go.
West Delaware Street, West Property, small scale CPA, changing the property from public facilities institutional to low-density residential. Is on the north side of Delaware Street, about 360 feet west of South Bluford. It's about an acre in size, and the zoning is currently R1 AA. This is an aerial of the property and the surrounding future land use and the surrounding zoning. Like the other one, the DRC met on this item on the 6th, PCC met on it on the 13th. They both found no issues and made a recommendation of approval in order to bring kind of the reverse, to bring the zoning consistent with, to bring the future land use consistent with the zoning, which normally doesn't happen in that direction, but in this context, it makes the most sense. And with that, and the applicant wants to develop single-family homes, which they can't do on a public facilities institutional future land use designation. And staff is also recommending approval of the small-scale complement amendment to go from public facilities institutional to LDR.
You agree?
Yes, sir. An amendment of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending the City of Ocoee Comprehensive Plan as adopted in 1991 as amended, amending the future land use map of the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan to change the future land use map designation from public facilities / institutional to low-density residential for certain real property containing approximately 1 acre located on the north side of West Delaware Street, beginning approximately 360 feet west of the West Delaware Street and South Bluford Avenue intersection, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city future land use map, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item 17 for West Delaware Street? No comments? I'll bring it back up to the dais. I need comments or a motion.
I'll be able to make the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner
Wilson.
Wilson.
That's okay.
Wilson.
That's okay.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. Any more comments? If not, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're down to item 18. Second reading of annual comprehensive plan text amendment to adopt 5-year schedule of capital improvements and update the capital improvement element, CIE project. Zoning manager.
Thank you. This is the annual CIE update of the comp plan. So background for the commission and audience. Each local government, according to the Florida statute, is required to adopt a comprehensive plan. And within that comprehensive plan, there is an element called the capital improvements element. Each capital improvements element, or CIE, has to contain a schedule of capital improvements covering at least a 5-year planning period, and that includes both publicly and privately funded projects that are necessary specifically to improve and maintain the adopted levels of service for those facilities that are required by the state to have a level of service standard. By statute, this is not considered an amendment to the comp plan. It's something that we can adopt by ordinance, and we send it to the state as a courtesy to the state, but they do not have the purview of providing any objections. The proposed 5-year schedule reflects capital projects only, capacity capital projects only taken directly from the fiscal year 23-24 budget that was approved by the City Commission following 2 public hearings and then ultimately adopted on September 20th of 2023. And then updating Table 6 in Policy 1.6 of the capital improvements element, which is where the capital improvement schedule lives in the comp plan.
All right.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan as adopted in 1991 as amended in order to comply with Section 163.3177, subparagraph 3, Florida statutes, amending the capital improvements element of the comprehensive plan, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
All right, we're going to open the public hearing on item 18, annual comprehensive plan. Anybody? Nobody to speak. We'll close the public hearing, bring it up to the dais. Anybody want to comment or make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the comprehensive amendments.
Motion made by Commissioner Hart for number 18. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. All right, no more comments. Let's vote. I missed it.
We can say Wilson Kennedy.
All right, Motion carries unanimously. All right, we've done 19, we're gonna skip down to the public hearings. Item number 20. Approval of 125 South Lake Shore Drive, Barrenburg property variance request. Zoning manager with it.
Thank you. 125 South Lakeshore Drive, Varenburg property variance. The variance request is to section 5-6B, subsection 1 in the Land Development Code relative to the placement of accessory structures, specifically in this case, a pool and deck area to be located in one of the property's 3 required front yards, specifically the southeast front yard. The property is on the west side of Lakeshore Drive. It's about a 1/3 acre in size. The home was built in 1958, and the current owners bought it in 2021. It has an R1 AAA zoning classification, and it's also a corner lot. This is an aerial of the property and the surrounding zoning districts. So the property had a variance approval before this commission in 2022. At that time, they had asked for a setback variance, if I can get to my mouse. So the property has 3 sides that are considered fronts. The northeast side on Lakeshore Drive, the southeast side on Lafayette, and also the south side also on Lafayette. The R1 AAA is the most restrictive zoning district in the city, where the front yards are required a setback of 30 feet. Side yard is 7.5 like all the other residential districts, and the rear yard is actually 35 feet. So from an orientation perspective, in terms of the use of the property, the front is that side facing Lakeshore, and the rear of the house for use purposes is the southwest side facing Lafayette. So that side, if it were a rear, would be a 35-foot setback. And at that time in 2022, the commission approved the setback variance in order for the homeowners to build a detached garage here in this area. Since that time, the structure has been constructed. They are in now this year for a variance to place a pool right here in the southeast side of the property. The code reference 5-6 says that on a double frontage or a through lot, meaning a lot has a road on one side and then on the complete opposite side, or other corner lots, accessory uses and structures shall not be located in either of the required front yards, but may be located in the one but not both side yards. So the code assumes that the property has a regular front and a regular rear and then 2 sides. Those streets are front, rear, and 2 sides. So then the property owner could place an accessory use on one of the sides. In this instance, however, the property has 3 fronts, no rear, and a side. So the variance regulations are in section 4-9, and it lists out 4 criteria. The first criteria is that there are special conditions or circumstances that exist that are peculiar to the property, that applying the code literally would essentially deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by others with similar conditions, that the special conditions are not the result of the applicant's actions, and that granting the variance does not confer any special privileges to this applicant that has essentially been denied other applicants with similar situations. This slide shows some of the constraints, or essentially all of the constraints of this property. This blue circle area is where their drain field is. This garage in 2022 was approved to be placed here because they were utilizing a driveway cut that was already existing on Lafayette. They separated the garage as far as they could from the house. The minimum is 5 feet, and they do meet that. This rectangle orange area here is their septic system. And they didn't place anything here, the pool here, because they are still hopeful that these purple arrows are showing where they could potentially connect to city sewer if city sewer were to become available along Lafayette. So they didn't want to install a major investment like a pool in an area where they would lose their opportunity to connect to sewer in the future. So it essentially leaves this location on the side of the house, which is still considered by the city standards a front yard setback area. And of course, they did not want to place the pool in their front yard directly in front of the house. As of the construction of the garage in '22, the lot is still at 30% impervious, so they essentially meet all the other code requirements in terms of development and construction activity on the residential lot. So the applicant in their submittal provided some CAD renderings of how the pool would look. And the fence is shown in their application because they are sharing their master plan. This variance does not include the fence. So this is some renderings that they have provided to show what they are wanting it to look like. This placement is also following some back and forth between the applicant and staff. They originally wanted the pool closer to this fence line here, but we had discussed them moving the pool as close as the building code would allow in terms of a pool next to a structure. The minimum is 5 feet. So they moved the pool closer towards the house, and then leaving this open area here in the side yard where they can plant some additional trees and whatnot to soften the line of the fence. So some additional renderings. One of the concerns that I was talking to them about, which is no longer a concern, is the visual impacts of the fence, and so they have provided some renderings here that would show the line of sight, or show that the line of sight can still be maintained with the fence. In this slide, the yellow line represents the property line. So the right-of-way line is here. The red line is where they would put the fence, and that would meet code as far as the placement of the fence. This is just another angle. Also another angle turning right from Lakeshore. So with the constraints of the site and looking at all the possible locations of the pool, we feel that that there are special circumstances with this property in that there are 3 front yards, and I apologize, there's a typo here that should say 1 side yard and no rear yard. So the side yard that they have is too narrow. It's less than 10 feet. With the 5-foot separation for a pool and the house, they essentially have no room for even a lap pool. Other side constraints is that their rear yard is occupied by a drain field, and the space in the center, again, is used by septic. Applying the code literally would basically not allow them to do much else in their front yard, which essentially they use as their side yard. These circumstances are not the result of the applicant. These were existing conditions when the house was built, and we feel that granting the variance would not confer any special privileges to this applicant. The PCC heard this item on the 13th. There was some discussion on, I don't recall exactly what the discussions were, honestly, but it was trying to remember. Oh, the septic system. There were renderings that I included here that wasn't in their packet, so I expanded on some of the slides in terms of the site constraints. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the variance to section 5-6B1 to allow the property owner to place their accessory structure on one of the 3 required front yards for the property located at 125 South Lake Shore. And also, following the PCC hearing, we received 1 letter of support. Leading up to today, I think earlier today, we received a total of 3 additional letters of support and 1 letter of opposition. And the applicant is here if you have any questions of them as well.
You don't have to read anything, right? All right, I'm going to open the public hearing. If you want to speak, now's the time. If not, okay, nobody. I will say there is 3 letters for and one dissent, so.
Yes.
Okay. But you did fill out, you got a form? Okay.
Good evening. Catherine Kitchens. I live on.
In the mic.
Sorry, Catherine Kitchens. I live on 135 Lafayette Street. One of my neighbors that live right beside me, she's on vacation, and she did have a concern as well, and I do too.
I'm sorry, what was your address?
135 Lafayette Street.
Okay, all right.
The neighbors that are that's wanting to do the pool extension, they've done a wonderful job on the property. It is quite beautiful. They've made a lot of improvements. One of the concerns that my neighbor, sorry, she's on vacation, otherwise she would be here. A few years ago, she put in brand new windows, and she did single pane windows for her kitchen, so they could enjoy the view of the lake. And the concern is on that side view where she's at, and it's more impactful where I'm at as well. It cuts right across the view, and with the additional parts with the added on trees at a later time, we're just concerned there's gonna be even more obstruction of the view of the lake. And I know they don't obviously want to put the pool in their front yard. I wouldn't either. And it would, another reason too, would take away their view of the lake. And it's just bring it to our attention. The neighbor, I'm not sure who turned in an opposition of it. I'm not sure which other neighbor. I know the neighbor across the street as well had a concern. But I just came here for my next door neighbor and as well for me, just with our concern of the view.
Which side of the street do you live on? You live on the
So
south
where I
side?
live, I'm like catty cornered to where they're at, and and my main window.
There's a fence up there now.
Do you live in
No,
the brown
there's no fence.
Huh.
I don't have a fence.
No, where do you live, on which side? You live behind them or on the other side of the road? You live
So
on the
they're in the
south
they're in
side?
the corner lot.
I know,
Oh, yes.
I know where they're at, but I'm saying, where do you live at?
I live, let's see, there's there's the house on the corner.
This one?
There's one on the corner, and then there's one, I'm the third house up from the corner.
Do you live-
South?
Well, there's no way, I
Do you live on
mean,
the north side or south side of the street?
that's what I asked.
Yeah, the south side would be on,
I'm on the right
Our
side.
side.
Their house is on the left, I'm on the right.
That's the side.
Okay.
But I was
Right.
looking at the picture, and if you look at the picture, it's still gonna be the lake. I looked at the picture.
But I'm just saying from where our view is, like if and you're more than
If
welcome
you
to
look-
come for tea, if
I
you're
know, but-
standing
Yeah, we just-
inside my living room, and if you look out, and I'm just concerned if.
Are you this one?
we're not critical,
No,
we're
no.
just trying
Yeah,
to
no.
figure out, please,
Absolutely,
don't.
absolutely.
Are you this one that the mouse is on?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Even back when they had the trees there, the trees are gone, it's got a better view than now. Even with those trees, you couldn't see it. Back, if you look at this, this is from 131 Lafayette.
So
You can see the lake.
When you look out.
With the trees gone, you can even see it better.
Right across,
Okay.
it goes right across the property.
Mr. Mayor, she's saying that her
The
residence
question,
is right here.
how tall is the fence, gonna
6
be?
foot is as tall as it can
Yeah.
be.
And how tall are they planning on doing it? Are they gonna do it at 4 feet?
So this variance isn't for the fence, it's just for the pool. They have not applied for a fence.
Oh, I thought on the zoning commission, I thought they were gonna put a fence in.
Their rendering shows it, but the variance hearing is just for the pool placement.
But later there'll be
Yes, and then they're capped at 6 feet.
I'm completely fine for the pool. My concern is just when the fence puts up, how tall the fence is gonna be, and then the trees that are gonna be added. Because literally, from my view in the living room, you look straight out, because there's only one view out, and it goes right across the yard where the pool's gonna be.
Fence height is capped in the city at 6 feet.
At 6, okay.
All right. You still got a little time left.
Oh,
right?
no, I
Okay. All
told
right.
my neighbor I would come and
Did
voice
you
her
turn the
concern
form
about her
in?
windows.
She just did.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else got comments? All right, close the public hearing, bring it back up to the dais. All right.
Question.
All right, Commissioner Kennedy.
Does the fence require a variance?
No, sir.
Thank you. And is there a limit? I know, for example, where I live, we have different set of rules. We have a limit on the height of the
6
hedge.
foot.
Yeah, we have a limit on the height of the hedge or the trees that extend above the fence. Is there a limit on that?
Not by the city's code, no. There's only a limit in terms of the line of sight, the 25-foot distance triangle.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more? Any more? Scott?
No, sir.
I'm gonna say something is, I've read the pros and cons or should we say the letters of interest and letters who are not interested. And, you know, what it comes down, basically boils down to me is that we're offering this resident no special privileges. Something that's not offered to the rest of us. I mean, I have a pool, and many folks in Ocoee have a pool, and I think this lot is an unusual lot. We won't disagree with that. They've done a beautiful job on the house and everything around, I mean, it's beautiful. But again, we're not offering them any special privileges, so I do not oppose this variance. I do understand the residents' concerns about their view, but I also look at, this resident also is given a privilege that the rest of us have.
Yeah, my first house was on the corner, and when you do put a pool on the corner, and I only had 2 corners, but they have 3 corners. So they're really limited. The last thing you want to do is have your pool exposed to everyone when you're out in the pool. So they just bought a beautiful lot with a situation that requires an adjustment. So I really don't, I can understand that. We definitely want them to enjoy the property. I can understand, too, the view of the lake. That's very important, too. But I think, like I said, we're not doing any special favors. They're just trying to get the value of the property. Looks really good, too.
All right, anybody else? No more comments? All right, I need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the variance.
Motion made by.
And will you add to that
Special.
a motion to approve the variance and a finding of consistency with section 4.9 of the city code?
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you so much.
Who's seconded?
I'll second what he said.
Thank you.
He seconded what you said. All right, motion made and seconded. Any more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Good job.
All right,
I just want to say that house it's built in the 50s, it's lovely,
yep.
and they've done a great job, and I'm sure some of the neighbors are very proud of what they've done, pleased with what they've done to the house.
Yep. That's it. Congratulations. All right. Number 21, approval of Ocoee Oaks Joint Venture Large-Scale Preliminary Subdivision Plan. Zoning manager Whitfield.
Thank you. Ocoee Oaks Joint Venture Preliminary Large-Scale Subdivision Plan. So the property is in the northeast corner of Clark and White. It's essentially the southern 5.71 acre portion of the church property. It received a rezoning in October 2023 from A1 to R1A. And at that time in 23, they had always proposed an 18-lot subdivision. This is an area of the property. It's wooded in the majority of it. There are some areas that are not wooded. This is the surrounding future land use and the surrounding zoning. This is a site plan from their subdivision plan. And as it's shown here, there is a right-in, right-out access, limited access onto White Road. I'm sorry, for orientation purposes, north is to the right side of the slide. And then on the west side of the property connecting onto Clark is also a secondary right-in, right-out access via a private 30-foot driveway. They are still sticking with the 18-foot lots. The lots do comply with the R1 A zoning district. City water and sewer capacities are available. They are working diligently with the utilities department to hammer out the engineering of the subdivision. The stormwater is not going to be built on the property. It is being shared with the church property via an easement that's going to run essentially here. This driveway access from Clark will also serve this site here, which is the bell tower that the commission approved a couple of years ago. And there is a lift station here. So this subdivision includes a proposal for a 50-foot subdivision, a 50-foot right-of-way, which extends from the White Road side all the way to where this yellow line is, and that is where the 50-foot right-of-way ends, and then it continues on as a 30-foot right-of-way, 30-foot driveway. The reason for that is that there are church activities that the church still wants to maintain in this area, so there's just, there is simply not enough room to get a 50-foot right-of-way all the way to Clark on that side. Landscaping will be installed per the Arbor Code, and again, the layout complies with the concept that was presented to the City Commission during the rezoning. So the item went to the DRC on January 2nd. DRC made no findings of concern. The PCC heard it on February 13th, also with no findings of concern. The PCC ultimately made a recommendation of approval of the subdivision plan. There was some conversation regarding access and circulation, but the applicant team was able to answer their questions at that meeting. And staff is also recommending approval of the preliminary subdivision plan for the 18-lot subdivision. And the applicant team is here in the back.
Okay. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Anybody want to speak from item number 21? Ocoee Oaks Joint Venture Large Scale Preliminary. I have Doug Gummer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, commissions of the great city of Ocoee. I'm not going to take a lot of time here, but all I want to do is let you guys know that this was a good example of success of people working together. Very much the way Commissioner Hart was talking about, what his time here. When I first found out about this, I was going 0 to 60, trying to make sure that this was never going to happen. And we had conversations that I said, this is never going to happen the way it is now. But I will tell you that the cooperation that we've gotten from the developers, from the church, from staff, and from Commissioner Wilson, this thing is now a good thing for our neighborhood. It didn't start that way, and I can tell you that most of the people in my subdivision, I'm the HOA president for White Hill, which abuts directly to the east of where this was going to be built. We were not happy about this one way or another because of the traffic that it was going to bring to White Road. But the way that this all came together, and it came when the thing that pushed us over the edge was when the church allowed them to buy the driveway and make the main entrance out to Clark Road. That's where they're going to put their frontage sign and everything else. And you guys don't hear this good enough, often enough probably, but this is the success of people working with the city and the developers to make a good project better. This was going to be a good use of property that probably had no other use until these guys came along and decided to do this. And I appreciate this for what they're going to do to my property value. I also appreciate the fact that they're putting up their own money for the private driveway to make this work. Otherwise, we'd still be up here, fighting back and forth. But I just wanted you to know that this is a good example of what happens when everybody works together.
Will you give us your name and address, please?
I've already filled out the form.
I need you to say it in the mic.
They need it for the public.
Doug Gomber, 405 Misty Meadow, White Hill subdivision.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. Anybody else in the public? All right, I'll close the public hearing, bring it to the dais. Any more comments, or do I need a motion?
I'm just going to make a comment right now. I'll make the motion after. But I do appreciate, they worked very hard together. Many phone calls with Doug and I. And again, I was pleased that how you worked well together to bring this to this point. So I'm pleased. And I'll make the motion to approve, unless someone else has comments, I'm sorry.
Huh?
Unless someone else has a
No,
comment.
that's all right. Motion made.
I'll make a comment in a second.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Wilson on this item 21. Do I hear a
Seconded by-
second by Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes, sir. And I remember exactly what you're speaking about. I was on the P and Z when you and your neighborhood came. And I'm very happy for you. Congratulations.
All right.
And I'll even be happier when that cell tower goes in.
Absolutely.
Any,
And the developer
Any
team,
more?
good job. Thank you for working.
yeah, thank you very much. It's good to hear that about developers working with our citizens. Any more comments? If not, I'll have let's vote. About to go over again. Motion carried.
We're doing good.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I know, we're doing real good.
All right, we're down to 22. Approval of Cambria Suites at Ocoee Large Scale Preliminary Site Plan. You're up again there.
Yes, sir. I'm bringing us home. So this is a large-scale preliminary site plan for the Cambria Suites at Ocoee Hotel Development with a 1,500 square foot restaurant on the 6th floor.
Is that it?
Do you want me to wait a couple seconds?
Give him just a minute. Give him just a minute.
So the property is located on the south side of Main Street, just east of the the Main and Blueford intersection. It's 2.6 acres in size. The zoning is C2. There are no environmental features that are unique. And it is within the CRA's Target Area 2, Sub-Area 1. This is the aerial, the surrounding future land use, surrounding zoning. Again, CRA Target Area 2 is everything that's in color here. This is Sub-Area 2, this is Sub-Area 1, and this is the site plan. So, as you can see, the site itself has a pretty odd, kind of quirky shape. The hotel footprint is here. I apologize that there are so many lines, but the hotel footprint is here. It's got sidewalks, white walks along the perimeter of the building. Main Street is up on the north. Bluford is here, and McGuire is on the left side of the screen. At the Main Street side, they are proposing a right in, right out because there is a raised curb there, a raised median. And then on the McGuire side is a full access driveway to essentially align with the driveway on the opposite side of McGuire. At the request of staff, they are providing a vehicular interconnection should an opportunity arise for a connection to the hotel on the south side so that people don't have to actually go onto McGuire to go from one place to another. The stormwater pond is on the south side. With this project, they are in their submittal asking for, so I put in this slide 2 squares. These are their waivers that they're asking for from the LDC. And I wanted to share with you also the standards that are in the CRA Target Area 2 plan. So the building setback is 25 feet by the code, but in the CRA plan, the minimum is 0. The parking is, they're asking for an 18.8% reduction, but the code gives flexibility in the design of the site to consider the context of the area with respect to the city's target area. And their max height in the CRA, the max height in the zoning code is 45 feet, which is not practical for a hotel. The max height for their CRA sub-area 1, target area 2 is 5 feet. However, in the other sub-area, it's 8 feet. So the 6 that they're proposing is sort of in the middle because it's essentially near the edge of the 2 sub-areas. So these are some renderings showing the max height. Again, the restaurant is on the 6th floor. It will not have a specific end user. The hotel will operate the restaurant itself. And so the next couple of slides will be renderings from the different elevations. This one is facing the future roundabout at Main and Bluford. And Main is right here. This is the north side, so looking at it from Main Street. The northwest side, looking at it from as you're traveling south, north on McGuire. Southwest side, traveling south on McGuire. And then the southeast side. So this is where the operations of the site will be, and their pool is on the 1st floor. So I also want to point out that this site plan was after numerous conversations and meetings with technical staff as far as some slight upgrades. They accommodated a loading zone here. The original couple submittals didn't include that. They also agreed to make the walkways, the sidewalks connecting from the city sidewalk to the hotel wider than the typical 6 feet. So those will all be 8 feet to match the sidewalk that'll be widened per the Bluford Streetscape project. So DRC met on this item on the 6th, and PCC heard it on the 13th. Some conditions of approval that I've just been carrying forward is as this project goes forward to engineering and design and permitting, we just want to keep it on everybody's radar to make sure that the alignment of the driveway on Main Street does not conflict with the roundabout as those 2 projects move forward together. And if it's needed, a development agreement could be entered into for the improvements at the roundabout. In the site plan, you'll notice that they are also proposing a rain garden. Should the roundabout happen, there's an opportunity to negotiate widening this rain garden to improve that intersection or that quadrant of the roundabout. We are also keeping in everyone's radar the parking. The parking is 117 spaces. It contemplates a 75% vacancy rate for the hotel rooms, 8 spaces for the restaurant use, and then 8 spaces for their employees based on their hours of shift changes. Since the time that this application came in, the property owner has acquired the property to the north side of Main Street. So as the operation of the hotel proceeds in the future and there is a need for parking, then they could consider parking on the property to the north. The parking calculation that we looked at also does not include the spaces that are available to the public, and also this user that's on the north side of Main, that is opposite the Oasis. So on the south side of that, all those on-street parking spaces are dedicated to the apartment. But on the north side, it's up for grabs for anyone who's able to use it. And then ideally, once the Blueford Streetscape project is completed, the roundabout's there, the pedestrian walk paths are there, those parking spaces will be better integrated into the pedestrian circulation in this intersection. So again, carrying those conditions forward, staff is still recommending approval of the Cambria Suites at Ocoee Hotel, large-scale preliminary site plan, and they're right here. The design team is behind the other applicants right here.
All right. All right, you through?
Yes, sir.
All right, open the public hearing. Nobody make comments, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back. You have anything? Nothing? You have anything to read?
Nothing to read, just if there's a motion to approve, I assume staff would want it subject to their recommended conditions.
All right, you heard that. Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the large-scale preliminary site plan with the waivers requested and on the condition of approval from the staff recommendations.
All right, Commissioner Forstner made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Hart. Anybody else got comments? No, let's vote.
Parking gave me a little heartburn, and that they've acquired the property across. And as we widen the sidewalks, hopefully
but
we'll
you'll
see
have to
more
have a
walking,
walk.
we'll
You
see
need to
more
walk
folks
back.
walking from the apartments to the restaurant, so
All right,
hopefully,
thank you very much. Looking forward to that.
yeah.
All right, motion carried. All right. Regular agenda, that's it, folks. We're down to the comment time. I'm gonna limit to 5 minutes. All right, Commissioner Hart, we'll let you start first tonight.
So, it's good the way it's ended. I'm very happy to see homeowners, builders, and city staff working together. I know there's a couple of issues in District 4. One is highly contested. It went on for quite a while at the last Planning and Zoning Commission. And I didn't speak about it because it's still going through the process. I don't want to get ahead of the process, but I encourage homeowners to work with the city, work with the developer, and let's try to come to a conclusion that benefits everyone. We can get a lot done, we can get more done having a conversation than we can having an argument. So I hope we can come together and work on that in the spirit of unity. We do have one of the few lots that's left in Ocoee to build. A couple of them are in District 4, so I encourage you to work together with the city. And if you plan on doing something at your home, please check with the city before you start. The last thing I want you to do is to do something, and you needed a permit, and you didn't get the permit, and you got to go through that process. The city staff is here, they're willing to work with you, so please just check with them. When in doubt, check it out. I'm so proud of the HRDB board getting the diversity movement started on the website. Still a work in progress. We're going to get there, but we've made that first step. They always say the hardest weight to lose is the first 5 pounds, and we've jumped past that, and we're in the process of doing that. So I'm grateful for that. And for Women's Month, I have 4 of the most precious things in my house: my wife and my 3 daughters. And my daughters are all going into fields that are male-dominated. And I tell them, one's going to computer science, one's going to cardiology, and one's going into animation. And I always tell them, when you go into a field, when you leave, make sure they know who you are. We got to empower our young women to reach for the stars. They're still in the majority, but they're still the most oppressed group of all groups. Still underpaid, still undervalued, still not represented correctly in upper management in all of America and in politics. So let's make sure we empower our women and appreciate our women. I tell you, I really appreciate the 4 I have at home. My wife went out of town one day and left me home with the girls, and oh boy, I tell you, we were so glad when she got home. But thank God for you ladies. We salute you in all your endeavors. And to a special lady who works here at the city, Sherry, thank you for putting up with me, keeping me in line, making sure I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the things that I need to do. It was a learning process. I always say it was like Gilligan's Island. It was supposed to be a 3-hour trip. And 11 months later, we're still here. But I thank you for your professionalism, your kindness. One of my pastors always said people don't have to be kind to you, but she was, and she went above and beyond taking care of me and my wife. And to my fellow commissioners and the mayor, I know you will, throughout the course of your career, you will have a litany of decisions you make. And I know in leadership, you always look back on the decisions you made and you ask yourself, did I make the right decision? I hope giving me this time in office is something you never regret. I hope I've conducted myself in a professional manner and that's worthy of the seat. And to the 2 gentlemen who seek this seat, I will be praying for you. Your success is the city's success. I pray that God will use you to serve the people of the city of Ocoee. And I'll be helping any way I can because we have to work together. We always talk about this and that, that group. And I think sometimes we get our nouns and our adjectives mixed up. We're worried about our race. We're worried about our gender. We're all part of the same group. It's called the human race. And whether you're American, Asian, Filipino, you're all part of the human race. And if you live in Ocoee, I want you to see Ocoee as your home. Finally, every time I do anything in pastoralship or anything, I always want to make sure I leave all hearts and minds are clear. Sometimes when you're in leadership and you say things that might have offended someone, you might have done it unintentionally, but someone might have been offended. So if I have said anything that offended anybody in any way, I want you to know I am sorry. I would never intentionally try to hurt anyone. I don't do that. But sometimes you say things that come across and rub people the wrong way. So please accept my sincere apology. I don't say things I don't mean, but I don't want to hurt anybody in any kind of way. Thank you for allowing me to serve. God bless you and have a great night. Take care.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ferguson.
Just a couple dates to remember. The neighborhood matching grant is still open. The deadline is March 15th. You can get your applications online at ocoee.org. Candidates Forum is March 6th. It's from 7 till 8 right here in the chambers. And don't forget to go out for the election on March 19th. And Best Fest is coming up March 28th out here in Bilbreeze Park, 5:30 to 8:30. Come on out. It's a wonderful event. And regarding Commissioner Hart, you're a true gentleman, and you're a role model that we should all follow. I am truly going to miss you. Your time here was served well, and we hope to see you back again.
I'm going to do my best.
I'm going to miss you. Okay.
Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you. Commissioner Hart, you've been a joy to work with. You really have, and you've created a very cohesive environment for us here. So I thank you for that. So, and we look forward to seeing you back and being in our audience for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Come on back.
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun. I just have a couple comments to make that going from the last meeting. And one of them is, I thought about this as I've been driving through school zones. And, we had someone make a presentation regarding photo enforcement. And what really bothered me as I thought about it later was that the state allows someone through the photo enforcement to go 30 miles an hour in a school zone. I think our children deserve more than that. Our children deserve 20 miles an hour. And I hope that when that comes back to us, that we remember that 30 miles an hour in a school zone is 10 miles over what we post. And when you allow someone, and they know they can do that, they're going to do it. And I just have a real problem with that. I've thought about that, and it bothers me because I'm going 20 through a school zone and people are passing me. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see police officers there to catch them because we don't need that for our children, that issue. The other issue I had, and I know that we spoke about this last meeting, and Commissioner Kennedy, this is something that you brought, we discussed it. and it was more what you had said. The concern was to make Orlando Avenue, not to allow neighborhoods to have golf carts, but for us to work hard on getting Orlando Avenue to a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Sure, I'd love 25 miles an hour on Orlando Avenue, but I don't see that at this point. And putting a golf cart on Orlando Avenue is very unsafe. I would like us to pursue I would like to go in, to talk to some of my HOAs, one that wanted, a resident in there wanted a golf cart. Why aren't we allowing the residents in that area to have a golf cart if they're, as long as they're not going out in restricted areas? Our gated communities, they can have golf carts, can't they? We went, Admiral's Point went a golf cart. Why aren't other communities being able to be given the same privilege that Admiral Point has? Or our gated communities, as long as they understand there's an end, you can, where they start and where they end. They can't take them on Orlando Avenue. We could deal with Orlando Avenue at a later time, but I think we should allow our residents, if they live in a gated, if they live in a neighborhood, that they have the right to use a golf cart. Maybe you want to go to your friend's house down the street and you take the golf cart. If it's within the speed limit and it's within a safe environment that the police department states that they can, why can't we go to an HOA and say, are you interested? I don't want to wait for Orlando Avenue to become a golf cart street, because I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So this is what I'm asking the commission, that I would like to take what we talked about last meeting and go forward and ask the HOA at Sleepy Harbor, will they agree to being a golf cart community within their interior streets? And that, I think, should go for other neighborhoods also, who have the ability. I don't think we ever asked Admiral's Point back in that day if the HOA wanted that. It was because residents asked for it, so we went ahead and made it, and they could only stay within that selected area. So why aren't we allowing other neighborhoods to do the same? I think it's unfair. We granted a pool tonight because of the privilege. They weren't given extra privileges. It's something that homeowners want. Well, a homeowner wants to be able to drive around Sleepy Harbor. Why aren't we allowing that? And then we'll ask the HOA, but why aren't we allowing that? I don't understand that, Mayor.
I don't either, but I believe in making that road 25 miles an hour.
Oh, I would love to see it, but as I'm going 30 and I have a train of 10 cars behind me,
No,
that's unfortunate.
you're very lucky, because most of them I see on that road do way more than 30.
Well, they're not behind me. If they're behind me, they're going 30, okay? Maybe 32 or 33.
I'll get it when I talk with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
'Cause I
understand
think
the
they
other.
should be given the same, what we
Yeah.
allow Admiral's
We just
Point.
have to go through the ordinance and make it where it pertains to all of them. I don't know.
Rob, do
The
we have to do
ordinance
that?
is flawed and doesn't comply with the state
Yeah,
statute.
I know, we gotta change it, I know.
Well, then we need to go ahead and ask city staff to go ahead and change
That's
that.
what
or
I asked
to-
for.
Well, I don't think we asked for that.
Misquoting what I said.
I understand that there was, let's hold off till we can make Orlando Avenue 25 miles an hour.
No.
No, I said that.
That's wrong.
I said that.
Okay,
What I
well then,
said- What I said clearly was,
I'll stand corrected and I'll apologize.
there's a difference between a gated community and what is being called an HOA. An HOA that is not gated has public streets. And my argument is the inverse of yours, which is I don't believe the city has any right to tell an HOA that has public streets they can't operate golf carts, which is what the current ordinance says. They have to be approved. That entire process is irrelevant. They're public streets. If the golf carts are allowed on public streets, the golf carts are allowed. The whole construct of the golf cart ordinance is now made irrelevant by the Florida statute that was passed. That's my position. We can put it on the agenda and discuss it if
I
next
think we
meeting.
need, I would request it goes on the agenda.
Okay, well, you see what you're talking? You done?
That-
Okay, you didn't say
I-
the marketplace.
I haven't finished yet. Do I have any time left?
Well, you were
Yeah,
out, but
you
I'm gonna
have
let
a
you have a
Oh,
minute.
I'll let you have the marketplace.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
The
gonna let you have it.
marketplace is Thursday, starts at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
here at Lakeshore, our beautiful Lakeshore Park. Come on down, enjoy the marketplace, and I wasn't able to go to the last one, but I heard wonderful things about it. They were thrilled, so again, come on down. We have wonderful events that we have in the city to enjoy, and this is one of them.
Do that one too.
And yes, I will, yeah. The other one is Spring into Conservation. It will be this Saturday, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, here at Unity Park, which is right across from our old city hall. And again, it's kind of a revamping of our spring fling that I have to thank the folks who worked with me on the spring fling for all those years. It was before I was ever commissioner. And when I became a commissioner, we had the spring fling, which is a great event. We probably had 800 people who came down to enjoy it. It was a free event. And this is a free event. There's going to be rain. So again, I can't say enough about the spring fling and all the wonderful folks that worked on that. We worked really hard. It was a group of citizens, and it's now become a city project, but it's called Spring into Conservation 9 to 1. There's going to be one interesting exhibitor, the Florida Skunk Rescue will be there. Marine Turtle Research Group, the library, Fish and Game, Florida Master Gardener. If you want a rain barrel, you need to sign up beforehand, calling 407-905-3159. Please arrange that, because it's not something that they bring enough for those who have requested. There's also a plant giveaway, 2 plants or 1 tree per Ocoee household with a valid ID. We have 5 zip codes in Ocoee, so just because your license or your ID does not say Ocoee, does not mean that you are not a resident of Ocoee. We do have 5 zip codes in this community. And there's going to be face painting, raffle prizes, sidewalk art, storytelling. So it's going to be a fun morning, so come on down. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Kennedy.
Wow. The arbor ordinance, I want to thank HOA representatives from District 1 that came and spoke tonight. I think things like the trees, the situation we have with different administrations at different times, having different sets of rules for different communities is a good example of exactly what's wrong with the golf cart ordinance. When you do things piecemeal and you say, well, this one can and this one can't and whatever, that over time and as this city has grown so much, that evolves into a piecemeal approach to governance. Just as I asked for the arbor, I asked last meeting for a comprehensive view of the golf cart policy to comply with the state statute that was passed. I don't have enough time. There isn't enough time. But I just want to speak. When I started participating in city meetings and coming to city meetings, the Lowrys sat right in front of me at every meeting. And it was great to become friends with Tom and Sue. And every time I would get up and speak, they would have a word of encouragement and sometimes correction for me. This city has just suffered the loss of a great man and a great leader. I couldn't even begin, I don't even know the boards and the positions and the volunteer efforts that they both have provided to this city, and our hearts are broken for Sue. The same, it's funny, I remember when I went to my first HRDB meeting, and I went there frankly knowing that there were some contentious issues and some separate camps. That's why I went, frankly. And the first meeting, Aegis Hart came down and sat right next to me. And we started talking. And the most amazing thing to me was at the second meeting, he came and sat down right next to me. And Aegis and Lori have just given so much as well. And I was fortunate because when the opportunity to name him interim commissioner came up, I already knew what kind of man he was. I'd already seen his example and Lori's example of leadership. And their girls, A, B, and C.
These staff are done. That's it.
I have never met children that were so kind, that were so genuinely happy, and a joy to be around. And that is a testament to you, sir, and to Lori. What a wonderful family. We are going to miss you, and we do hope it's short-lived. That said, I'm low on time, but I have a couple important issues to discuss. Maybe we can park Lakewood, but I would like to get an update, maybe at the next commission meeting, on next steps regarding traffic and enforcement in District 1 now that Lakewood is open. I know that we were waiting for Lakewood to get open and for the temporary disturbance to go away there. So if I could just ask staff to be prepared at the next meeting to go over the plan. But I would like to ask tonight for an update, if it's possible, on the utility permit for Forest Lake Golf Course, if that's possible. That's the last of my comments after that.
Thank you. Mayor, Commissioners, Craig Shadricks. I spoke with a consultant today, as a matter of fact, and just as a recap, the commission authorized ZHA to conduct a study of the lease of Forest Lake in addition to looking at the wastewater permit. And they are ready to make their final report with the exception of information that they've requested from the operator, which is financial in nature. They've requested for 3 years of financials and accompanying statements, and there has been a little bit of pushback from that. So that's where we are. I did meet with them. They expressed to me that they would be happy to give those financials up if we gave them a non-binding LOI.
What's your advice on that? What's your thought process on that? Or Rob, too.
Well, I'll tell you what my thought process is. I think we should give them a non-binding LOI at a number that is in line with what the course lease would be worth. And, you know, I would be willing to throw something in with regard to a percentage for some time certain, but it's non-binding. So we know the number that they're at, and part of this analysis was to come up with a new number, and it's important if we look to have someone come in and take over the lease, they need to know what kind of expenses they're looking at coming into it. And that's the importance of looking at all those aspects of the current operation, current state of infrastructure, current state of maintenance, any configuration issues, any issues in the lease that are required, both environmental with the agencies, et cetera, et cetera. And then we wanted an opinion on the permit and its modifiability with regard to the frontage along the Claricona-Ocoee Road. So I believe this is all leading to a conversation. And that's the update. The consultants feels like he built a nice rapport with him, but he's a little frustrated because he's ready to make a final report.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
I would feel really foolish making even a non-binding offer and an LOI without having read the interim report. So I would suggest that we get the report of the evaluation of the compliance with the permit and the maintenance, et cetera, and the modifiability, and consider that.
Okay.
And then if we want, we can make a non-binding LOI and get the financial information as well. But I'm not prepared to do that as I sit here.
You want to do a consensus of that, or do we need to vote on that?
Probably a consensus to put on the agenda to have the engineer present an interim report.
I agree with that. Yeah, we can actually have him come and make a presentation.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good enough?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
My time. talking about that 25 miles an hour, you know what that will do? That will make all them speeders slow down behind that golf cart and go down the road 25 miles an hour.
Really unsafe for a golf cart.
Because 30 mile, I got thinking about that road the other day. I do it, I go down it a lot too. But 30 miles an hour and 25 miles an hour is not gonna bother people to speed. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And 25 mile an hour is not a lot of difference when you're doing it. And if we got golf carts can come from them neighborhoods, all those neighborhoods will be able to come downtown on their golf carts and stuff. I'm just saying, we'll talk about that later.
Well, then we're gonna need stop signs,
Well, we can do stop signs.
a lot of them.
No, well, these streets come in, you don't have stop signs, you just have a thing that shows an intersection. But that, we'll discuss all that. The other is, oops. I wanted to, the contract, everybody knows what we did tonight. We did the contract for, Craig Shedrick under the thing, right?
Yep.
So now, what's the next procedure? That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. I think the way that we got the efforts of the city attorney to word it
Yeah.
would be as soon as HR tells the city commission the position is vacant, i.e., I've told them so long, and it would kick in immediately at that point.
Yeah.
There's no other
That's what we need
votes
to
or
put on
actions.
there, though, that-
It is. Yeah, so there's no other actions that need to be taken at
No,
this time, Mayor.
Everybody read the contract, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
they're good. All right. All right, so I'm gonna talk about Mr. Hart again. And I don't want anybody to get upset about this or say something because I'm gonna say religion. But I think we got Mr. Hart from a person that we all, I respect God, and I think we got a little, handing over to us from him being appointed. Not saying that you got one of the disciples or anything, but I'm telling you, it come a time when we needed somebody of Mr. Hart's persuasion, abilities, and thought processes. I mean, I've sat up here for a lot of years, and some of the things you've said has made me go back and look and try to hold tight, not say the things I want to say sometimes. But I've tried to watch and listen to you, and you're a person that puts that persona out there. And I don't know, I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I would have to tell you, you're a person that puts that persona out there. You were sent to us, for a reason. And you're right about his wife. I enjoyed being on the board with her. She was one of the nicest ladies you'll ever want to meet, most humble of people you ever want to meet. And those daughters, I have never met them that they wasn't as jumpy and friendly and personal as they could be. You have raised them the right way. They're all getting educations. One of them graduated from,
Yeah, well, one graduated from UCF, she's at
Yeah.
UF now, and
Yeah.
another one USF, and she's
Hey.
trying to get in med school. And
yeah, so I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
you can be a proud man.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I think that we owe him a good round of applause for his service. We're looking forward to seeing you again, so don't get lost, there's other things
No.
can.
I'll be
you
in
need
the
to
corner
around.
with a sign real soon.
Yeah. Also, I have I let Rob make some adjustments. I have a charter amendment explained. So I'm gonna do the changes, some of the changes, and then I'm gonna leave it and see if we could have it done by tomorrow night if we can get.
Yeah, I think we can. And
And
what the
put it
mayor's
on the-
referring to, it was to explain the charter amendments that the board did. I went over it because
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we're not supposed to
No,
spend any city
it's-
money
it's good.
promoting it, saying you should vote this way. So I just made sure it was very neutral and explained them. Just a few words that
Because there have been people
changed.
calling different people asking about it, so what I'm gonna do is, I think we can make these tomorrow night and set them on the table. Let citizens pick them up, we'll put them out here in the lobby, they can pick them up. If they call you, want the explanation, it's written out in verbiage that you can understand, so all of you can get one tomorrow too. It's, one of the guys on the, Charter Commission worked on it, so, and I really appreciate it. He took a lot of time, and I let Rob go through and make the changes, and he did. And all of you see it tomorrow. If you see anything else, bring it up. But we need to let our citizens know
Right.
what we're doing with the charter.
Right.
Because we don't want it to come up there and then all of a sudden they start hitting. We want them to understand and read it.
Right.
I know most of us all been in those booths when you see all these charter amendments and all this stuff. Everybody's just going on by them. We need them to look at this, read this, and understand what we're doing.
Right.
It's a straight way to help the city of Ocoee, and that's what it's for. So let's hope everybody will take and read it. Now, I'm gonna see if it's okay with the Women's Club to put it on the desk out there, and when they come in, they're picking up political material. We're not telling anybody which way to do it. We're just gonna give them the material to read. All right?
Are we allowed, can I ask, I'm sorry to interrupt your time, Mayor. Stop the clock.
That's all right, I don't care. I'm done.
Are we allowed to come to the forum tomorrow night by way of, because it says one or more commissioners will be.
I've got a banquet to go to tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm just asking, is that something that has to be noticed?
Well, you all can attend, but if there's more than one commissioner speaking, you need to be, I would be very
Is it
cautious of
posted?
that. I would,
I'm
not
speaking. Well, no, I'm not
Sitting in the
speaking, I'm
audience.
just saying that the attendance, I just want to know, is it to be noticed? I've asked that the last time.
It-
well,
it's not
it would only
noticed.
have to be noticed if more than one of you is speaking. And so, if none of you will be speaking, there's no problem with you attending.
Okay, but just sitting in the audience?
You're absolutely allowed
Okay.
to sit in the audience.
Okay, I
sure.
just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Get more
I'm
trouble.
sorry. I thought she was going to ask about the charter amendment.
That was the deal
That's
with
what I'm getting to, but go ahead.
Yeah, I also, Noreen's Winter Garden Vox has an
Yeah,
excellent
right.
breakdown of the charter
Yeah.
amendments.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea to put that out. I support that. And I'm also sending people there.
Yeah.
I think there's several options for people to get informed and make up their mind.
And the
Yeah, I
website,
went,
yeah.
I told you, I
The
guess I
city
sent you
has
a thing,
one,
because
yeah.
I went to it the next day after we left here. It still had last year's. So y'all changed it, I know. Thank you. But, I just want people to understand what this is and what we're doing. It's for the citizens too. Things like you can't move here today and tomorrow you run, in the morning you go sign up to run. Things like that is what's in this. So we just want you to understand. You gotta live in the city, things like that. So that's what it's for. So I hope everybody, I appreciate everybody hanging in. Rob, I hope you feel better. And Craig, congratulations. Let's go.
Yeah.